Hey, this is Cool Trains in Montreal, and I'm showing off a layout that I haven't used probably in 20 years. And this layout is going to be upgraded and recycled into a new layout that I'm using to build a small apartment size layout on N scale for for a loop of track so that I can use that to test some of my locomotives and to have a continuous running loop in the absence of having my bigger layout. So this is what I'm going to do with this layout, which is 2 feet by 5 feet only. It was built at the time, that dimensions, so that it would fit a specific space in my room. And I think this is as good as it's going to get in terms of space right now for me for a continuous loop. And I really want to use this layout again because, well, why not recycle something that's still pretty good? Uh, so basically, it's a wood construction, and it has this uh, some kind of a wood product on top of it there, but that's kind of like a little Bristol board or something like that. I forget the exact name of it, but it's kind of like a sponge on top, and that might pose a bit of a problem when I go and put down these pieces of foam core. But the idea here is to have a loop of track and a passing siding and a single industry that I can switch. And really, I can actually have two industries when you think about it, because I have this rail track here for expansion, but that's very easily converted into, a rail car track for 2 tank cars or something like that. So this is going to be using some of my existing buildings. Uh, I can basically take these buildings and put them onto any other of my little shelf layouts or whatever when I'm using those. And eventually, what I can do is combine some of my shelf layouts with this to make something a little bit bigger in an L shape. I have another video where I detail what I was going to do with two larger pieces of wood. I can make an L-shaped layout with that, and that's pretty much what I would do. So here you can see I have enough space to make a pretty decent main street, and I can line that with cars, and it's got to be wider than just kind of a really narrow thing. I want to have enough space in there for, cars and some parked cars and things like this. And I wanted to make a kind of scenic divider here. And what I'm going to do is raise these buildings up about 1.5 inches, I would say. That should be sufficient to have bridges over these railroad tracks. So that would break up the scene pretty neatly. And in the back here, you can see I'm using my long railroad station. So I'm going to have commuter trains running along here, passenger trains running along here that'll be able to stop at that station. And I'll have some freight trains that will be able to hide in that passing track here and switch out this large industry that has a track there that'll accommodate about 3 or 4 freight cars, depending on the size. And of course, this passing track can accommodate a few freight cars that are just going to be set out, maybe. A new bridge will have to be built on this gorge. So I have one here, and that's just happened to work out well that this Cato bridge fits nicely. On the back here, I'm going to be using one of these Cato truss bridges because I want some variety. And it's not quite going to fit the scene well, but I can make it work. I'll definitely make it work. And here, just a single track is going to come around. And again, there's going to be, this part is built up to about 1.5 inches maybe. And there will be a bridge over this so that it'll break the scene up. And then you will just see on this side the track coming over the under a bridge, over this bridge, enter a passing siding kind of thing. Have this scenery here. These buildings will be blocking out anything that you see in the back, so that basically what you'll have is a layout that is broken up into two sides. And when you look at it from the other side too, equally, this side will be hidden, so that in essence the buildings will act as a divider, and there will be no need for an actual divider. And in this way I'll be able to have a loop of track so I can do some continuous running, but at the same time I'll have something interesting and not just a test track as a lot of people will have. I'm going to have, actually, the scenery is almost complete just from the get-go because this is an urban setting, and I have a few other buildings that I can place around here and make it more complete. So this is what I'm going with as a starter. Things might change as I progress, and I'll have to probably build in a place here, like a small set out for my transformer, and have to do a little wiring for this, so it'll be a little bit more of a intense project. But when it's finished, it'll definitely be something interesting, and it'll be something that I can actually use in terms of expansion as well, like I said, because I will have one track going out that way and another track possibly on the other side as well, so that I could expand this into an L shape if I want to. And that's really the key to building interest into your layout. Anything you do is keep in mind possibility of expansion before building something, so that it doesn't end up being obsolete at some point, which is what really happened with this layout when I was a kid. It became obsolete, so I kind of lost interest in it. But here I am, and I'm going to build this as a Renaissance layout. And with these days of the coronavirus, here I am being at home a lot of the time, so not able to go out and not able to film trains, not able to go out like so many other people in general. So here I have the time to think about these things instead of just sitting around watching Netflix. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and the next time you see a video like this, it'll have some progress on this little layout. So thank you very much for watching, and if you enjoy what I'm doing, please subscribe to the Cool Trains in Montreal channel. Have a good day.